Good morning, everybody. Pretty exciting stuff here. We are in our Express account here, and we are copy trading across three other accounts, soon to be four other accounts. We want to be able to control five Express accounts across the board, right? That's the goal. And all right, let's get into it today. Let's see what is looking good. Let's start off at the very top here. I'll start off with the S&P here. Okay. We've got that wonky range, right? From this whipsaw candle here. Boom. Right. So that's gonna throw a little monkey wrench into things, I think. We've got to get past that. Looks like we've broken past it right here on this candle, and it pulled back into TrendCloud. There was some news coming out. You can click down here and see the news. NASDAQ to open flat. Lisa Cook and President Trump are in a lawsuit together. I don't know how much that's going to affect the market, but the market doesn't like the word Fed. It leads to uncertainty and then some news about Nvidia and whatever. But we've got all our components met for the upside though. Let's go over it real quick. 3-hour chart, CCI above positive 100. That's very strong. That's good. We just require it to be above the zero line. 1-hour CCI, same thing. It's kind of hovering around positive 100 above the zero line. Third component, we need price to be above the 50 simple moving average on the 1-hour chart. Those are the three components that we need to take the breakout of the opening range. Being that we've got this sideways range here on this candle, we really need to see a break above, close above this black line here. And I don't know if we'll get that today. Hopefully we get that. But if the opening range forms somewhere down here, we're definitely going to have to take off some contracts at this line here and let that last one run. DR checkpoints are real far away, which is a good thing, right? That gives us, I have two stop losses on here. Let's get rid of one. There's our stop loss. Looking good, right? Where is ADR? All the way up here. That's great. That's a nice distance away. All right, so ES is looking good. Strong readings on the ES. Let's check the NASDAQ. Got one more minute, and the opening range is going to start to form. 20 seconds now. Okay, so NASDAQ, same thing, right? CCI above positive 100. 1-hour CCI hanging out around positive 100 and above the 50 simple. Mixed signals on the YM. You look at how we never broke through. Our YM is starting to drop right at the open. Take a look. We never broke through this previous structure high here on the 3-hour chart. Never broke through that previous structure high. And mixed signals. The Russell looks really nice, actually. We did on the Russell. We broke through that previous structure high, 3-hour chart right there. Right, we broke through that, and it just kept going. And now we're pulling back into TrendCloud. So we've got some lines here, right? 15-minute chart became extended, but we recalculated, right? That's what we wanted. Now it's pulling back again. It's pulling back into this little drop-based rally here, actually. Take notice of that little drop base rally right here. It's ripping through that. Oh man, it's going right to the line that I drew. Deep pullback right into this rally base rally, which is also the 30-minute 50 simple moving average here. So I thought that was interesting. Maybe it breaks through a little bit there. So what we want to do is drop down to the 5-minute, right, and see. Wow. We've got that. What is that right there? Kind of all over the place. Previous day's high is right there. Maybe it wants to hit that previous day's high, hang out in this area. That's quite a drop. That's quite a drop there. If it rebounds off of this, it's going to be a very bullish candle. It's going to be a very bullish candle if it bounces off of that area there. I just, we don't play the demand zone guessing game, right? That's kind of a dangerous game to play. but we've got momentum on our side, right? So that's the thing. We still have very strong momentum. Wow, look at that. Look at that reaction off of that area there. Very early in the opening range, right? We don't know what's we don't know what's going to happen. So today is a great day to let the opening range actually form. Let's see what's going on across the board. Kind of the opposite reaction here. Let's go out to the 15-minute chart. Right, look, we had stronger momentum readings, right? Wow. So we are breaking past. The ES is looking good, guys. ES is looking good. NASDAQ, woof, same thing, even stronger. NASDAQ is even stronger here. Oh, I thought they said it was going to be flat. So there you go. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, guys. Yeah. This thing has kind of taken off without us. Again, we've got these very wide opening ranges forming. Maybe we could get in on it better, with the S&P. Will this turn around? Will the RTY turn RTY? Boy, the YM is definitely out. Not going to be looking at the Dow. We really want to see strong readings. Yeah, it's either NASDAQ or the S&P. Looks like the friggin' NASDAQ took off without us. Do we take the chance, jump the gun? Do we jump the gun on the S&P here? It's still really early. It's still really early. Damn, man. Fucking NASDAQ just took off without us. But that's what we wanted. We have to stay calm and not really put any weight on any type of outcome, right? We don't want to succumb to outcome bias. We just want to use our skills and read what we know, right? May have a lot of people jumping into this, and now it's starting to pull back. But you can see the readings that we're looking at. The readings are very strong on the Nasdaq and the S&P. Very wide opening range forming here. I don't know. We may have to just, yeah, look at that. Look at that pullback on the ES here, guys. We may have to let this go today and let this thing figure itself out. We'll let the opening range form and we'll see where we end up, bullish candle or bearish candle. Right? We may have a neutral candle. It's still super early, 9:36. Right? Look at the context on the highest time frame, 3-hour chart. We definitely broke to the upside. NASDAQ opened slightly higher. About 10 minutes ago, the news was NASDAQ to open flat. And then all of a sudden, when it broke to the upside, someone wrote a little article and posted it and says, oh, NASDAQ is blowing up. It's just so stupid. We saw that before the news came out, right? Because we know how to read charts. We know how to read technical charts and we have a strategy in place, right? So what I'm looking at are my bonus components now, right? Because the bonus components are the leading indicator to our strategy. Let's go over it again. 3-hour chart, CCI. We want to see that above the zero line. It's actually above positive 100. Great. We love that. It's also in an uptrend, right? I mean, we focus on the momentum on the highest time frame, but if it's also in an uptrend, that's a bonus component, right? Cycling up. This is the timing indicator, right? This is 1 hour, right? 1 hour is in a impulse mode, right? It's starting to turn green. NVIDIA earnings must have been good. All right, so we've got these people writing these stupid articles. Again, 3-hour chart, CCI, above the zero line. 1-hour chart, CCI, above the zero line, hovering around positive 100. Price action must be above 50 simple moving average. Those are the three components, the baseline components that we need pre-market, and we have that. We have all of that. The bonus components that I'm looking at are, will this opening range candle, this 15-minute candle, will it be bullish or bearish or neutral, right? So far, it's very bearish. We want the bonus component to be a bullish candle. And if it's a bullish candle, that's usually a leading indicator that the 5-minute candle on the chart will break above and close above the opening range. We can get rid of this line. We broke above it. So the two bonus components are the 15-minute opening range candle. We want it to be bullish so that it's in line with our standard components. And then the second bonus component is the 5-minute candle breaking out, closing above the opening range. Okay, we got 5 minutes left. Here's that last 5-minute candle. Now, essentially, we can be looking for demand zones in this environment, right? We can definitely be looking for demand zones in this environment. Got a little 5-minute demand zone down here. You can box that out, and we are on the S&P, right? We're on the S&P here. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Where do we have stronger? Whoa. Okay, NASDAQ, we definitely have stronger momentum as of right now. Got stronger momentum on the NASDAQ. S&P pulling back. Look at the momentum on CCI, above 200 on the 3-hour, hovering around 200. All right, stronger on the NASDAQ. Let's switch over to the NASDAQ. Start focusing on the NASDAQ now because we've got stronger momentum. Cycling up, cycling up. What about the S&P? It is, but kind of slightly down, right? Can we catch the S&P down here? Or look how it hit previous day's high and bounced off of it, right? Bounced off that previous day's high. NASDAQ, we'll leave that on there. That's where NASDAQ kind of pulled back to. A very, very bullish candle on the NASDAQ so far, right? Bullish candle on the NASDAQ. Is that it? Is that all we're going to get? That's my fear. That's why I want to wait for the opening range to form, let it do whatever it's going to do, and see if we can get the breakout. But I will be focused on the NASDAQ now. S&P. S&P is strong. It's starting to follow. NASDAQ has the stronger momentum, guys. Okay. Wow. Just really, really starting to rip to the upside. Now, yesterday we noticed a very wide opening range and we had a deep retest. So I think I would follow that again. We got 2 minutes left. Recalculate the chart here. Make sure I'm on the NASDAQ and Q. There we go. I'm going to jump over to the 5. Well, I'm going to put my lines. Why is it not grabbing it? All right, whatever. Very wide opening range. Drop down to the 5. And there's that 5-minute candle. That's where we kind of want to put our stop loss. If we have some kind of deep pullback here, 40 seconds left. Wow, what do we do in this situation to mitigate risk? Do we go for it and buy one contract? I think maybe buy one contract right at 9:45. Let's see, starting to really pull back now. There we go. 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ, pulling back to where we broke out from. There it is. There's the opening range there. Very wide opening range, but incredible momentum there. Let's see if we can get some sort of little pattern going inside. All right, look at this. Look at this drop. Look at this immediate drop here. I don't know, guys. Look at that immediate drop. I almost want it to break out to the downside so that it's a walkaway trade. But look at the momentum. We've got incredible momentum here. Incredible momentum here. Is this some sort of whipsaw here? If we buy, I don't know. Wow, incredible momentum to the upside here. Just a super wide opening range. All of our components met. Got to wait for that candle to close. I got 2 minutes left in that candle. This is where we want to be, down here somewhere. I don't know, guys. Very wide opening range. I want to get in to mitigate risk, so you can only do so much. No, I don't like it, guys. I don't like it. The opening range is very wide, and we had quite a pop there. I think maybe the better strategy would be to wait for the breakout and then the retest like it did yesterday. But this is quite a drop here. This is high. This is kind of unusual. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get involved with something unusual. This is an unusual drop here, but it is dropping into momentum. So that is a good thing. It is dropping into momentum. Very strong readings on CCI. Very strong reading. Pulling back into our 5-minute trend cloud. 11 seconds, 10 seconds left. Let's see if we get a nice pullback here. And if we can fire off a trend cloud signal with all this upward momentum, nice, good. Pull a little further back. That's good. 1 hour candle's very bearish, right? Whoa, and boom, right there, breaking out to the downside with a ton of momentum. Is it going to head for this? Is it going to head for that little guy right there and turn around? I don't know. You never know, right? You never know. But as far as our strategy goes, this is unusual. We're looking at some sort of bear trap, right? We're looking at some sort of bear trap here. Upward trend, upward momentum across multiple time frames, and this thing is breaking out to the downside. That's either going to be some kind of whipsaw or, it's not ready yet. The timing is not there yet. We've seen it break to the downside and then break to the upside. Very wide opening range, guys. Very wide opening range. So if you were going to take this trade, you would have to take it to the upside to mitigate risk. Okay, hitting that 5-minute demand zone there now, but I think I might be walking away. I think I might be walking away from this today, guys. Won't be. I wouldn't want to get into something that breaks to the downside on all that upward momentum and trend, right? So the timing might be off here. It might not be ready yet. Big rejection. They seem to be selling off on those breakouts. There you go. Okay, nice little reaction off of that 5-minute demand zone. Or it went through a little bit, but I wouldn't freak out about that. That's just an area of interest, right? Again, we are above positive 100 on momentum, pulling back into these little demand zones. Let's go back over to the 15-minute chart and take a look. Okay, here you go. Totally acceptable, right? That's just a market edge. I mean, that demand zone, there's nothing special about that demand zone, right? Let's get rid of this for a second. There's really nothing special about this demand zone, right, guys? But this is quite a pullback. Quite a pullback with a ton of upward momentum. If we could hit all the way down here with all that momentum, wow, that would be something. That would be something because now if we hit this ADR checkpoint down here, which I don't think it's going to do that. But I told you yesterday, this type of a thing throws a monkey wrench into our strategy, does it not? How's our stop loss holding up? Came all the way down, just dinged our stop loss. Remember, the stop loss triggers when the candle closes below that line. And I believe we're on 4. Okay. ADR is set to 4. Let's do 3. Okay, 3, it triggers, right? 3 times ATR. 3 times ATR looks like it has triggered so far. It's got to close below that. But anyway, bouncing off that, but that's just quite a drop. How much is too much? I don't. Nobody really knows, but it's just unusual, right? When your buddy that you know really well, when your best friend that you know really well is acting a little weird, you'll pick up on that, right? You pick up on it. I told you this range here, when you're in this range, it throws a bit of a monkey wrench into things. And it closed, right? So technically, like we closed above all this mess right here with strong momentum. CCI is telling us this is a strong uptrend on the 1-hour chart. But so this is some sort of reaction here. Big institutions, something's going on. Maybe the news, this is a catalyst to the bad news about the Fed, Lisa Cook, Trump, lawsuit thing, whatever. The word Fed and the word lawsuit, the market doesn't like that. Market does not like that. So it's doing this. Wow. Oh God, please give me a. I mean, what is this? This is ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, look, this is a win. This is a huge win because we identified something extremely odd, and that is a win. You got to journal about that. Hey, all conditions were met, very strong, bullish bonus candle, but formed a very wide opening range, right? Let's look at it, right? Formed a very wide opening range on the 15-minute chart. There it is, right there. There's the opening range. Let's get rid of this. And we had very strong momentum. CCI 3-hour chart off the charts, right? It was above positive 100. 1-hour CCI hanging out right around positive 100 in an uptrend. Price action was above the 50 simple moving average. And what does this thing do? It rips to the downside. Whoa, no can do, buddy. Right? That's what having that's what when you have a strategy that you've back tested and you forward tested and you used it in competition and you took it and built $500 up to $5,000 in your account, that small account challenge. You used this strategy to do all of that. We went through all those stages. This is very odd, right? We trust the strategy. And, when you have a pullback like this, it's odd. It's just very odd. And we don't trade stuff that's odd looking, right? We trade stuff that is in alignment with what our strategy is, right? So we wanted this to form an opening range and break out to the upside, right? And look at that. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. This is what we want to see, only to the upside, right? It's breaking out to the downside. That means we're looking for some type of bear trap. And we know from using this in competition and small account challenge and whatever, the bear traps, any trap, bull trap, bear trap, they don't have as high of a win rate, do they? We've been burned on the traps, right? We take the zone and then it keeps going deeper. Sometimes the bear traps work. I think maybe bear traps, I don't know, maybe more around 45% accurate, but the strategy that we put together is 70% accurate. And we've proven that in the Topstep combine. When I look at my data, I always say we, right? Because I think of all of us as one entity, right? But when I look at my data on Topstep, I range from 70 to 76%, 70 to 76% accurate. Holy schmoly. That's street cred, guys. Like, I got street cred in the day trading community. Let me tell you, I'm sure you guys have that too. So yeah, so make sure you're journaling. I have a spiral notebook. I write stuff, hey, opening range today was very wide. Like yesterday, my entry was very wide opening range, great momentum and trend. We got the breakout, but then we had a very deep retest of the opening range. And that kind of makes sense. Wide opening range, breakout to the upside, deep retest, then it broke out again. This, on the other hand, is breaking out to the downside in a very wide opening range. But we still have such incredible strength in the momentum. Look at look at how deep this pullback is on the 15-minute chart. And we're still above the zero line. Guys, we're above positive 100 on the 3-hour chart as far as momentum goes. And we're still in an uptrend. I'm very curious to see how this works out, right? Uptrend 3-hour chart, above positive 100 on CCI, cycling up. Wow. 1-hour chart, above the 50 simple, in an uptrend, right? Kind of going sideways here, right? But CCI, right? Above the zero line, cycling down, right? We're cycling down here, starting to react off of this demand zone. Let's open up the chart. I'm on the 15-minute chart. Let's drop down to the 5. Okay. All right, drop, base, and what we need is a rally above this. We need to see, We need to see that reversal pattern, right, on the 5 minute. But the fact that this, you know, broke to the downside and very aggressive move would be to start buying it right now, right above this pivot candle, right? We're starting to cycle back up on the 5 minute chart. That's our little timing indicator, right? Very interesting, right? Very interesting stuff. It did break through, this little 5 minute zone, right? It did break through there, but again, it's an area of interest, right? It's just an area of interest because this range is so wide. What I'm thinking is, this is kind of this is going to be the end all be all. This is going to be the target all the way up, all the way down, all the way back up again. That's asking a lot, isn't it? I think this thing sort of peters out and just starts going sideways inside the opening range today. Meh, right? We had the components, but the price action broke out into the opposite direction. Guys, this is a huge win. It's a huge win. This is what Beth and I were talking about this. This is a walk away win. It's a walk away win. You have to train your brain to look at your strategy and not pattern drift, right? Like, oh, I didn't get the breakout to the upside. Let me look for something else. So now it's like you're succumbing to this outcome bias as if you know what's going to happen. And it's like, well, let me start looking for a reverse head and shoulders pattern here. Something. And again, you can do that. You can do that. You just have to remember, how much data do I have on that particular pattern? We put a lot of work into our pattern, right? The opening range breakout, bullish candle, 5 minute candle closes outside of the range. We've got these three components that we look for pre-market. It's a beautiful system. It's a beautiful system. It makes us a lot of money. We're so happy using it, and we're ecstatic when we start seeing those profits. 70% win rate. When it doesn't work, it's really a scratch on the knee. You take a little scratch if it doesn't work because, you're only at 1% risk. Holy cow. Like, that's awesome. So this is a walk away win because part of our strategy is also identifying patterns that take place that aren't in our book of strategy, right? Boom, there, whoa. Okay, there you go. Remember, we've got a lot of momentum on our side, and this is quite the whipsaw here, right? All the way up, all the way down. Now it's going to go all the way back up again. We don't really like that environment, do we, guys? We don't really like that type of environment. It ends up being very stressful, and we're in this for the long run. You got to remember that as well. Do you want to be involved in something where you're going to be like this, Identify the pattern. And when I mean pattern, I mean our components, right? Identify your three main components at the very beginning, pre-market. Go through the four indexes. Where is it strongest, right? We noticed yesterday it was the Russell. And then when I woke up this morning and started running through the indexes, I was like, oh, look at this. NASDAQ and the ES have the strongest components, right? CCI 3 hour, CCI 1 hour, 1 hour trend. Those three components were the strongest on the NASDAQ. So here we are. Then bonus component, bullish candle forms the opening range, usually a leading indicator to the breakout, right? Only this thing completely reversed, ripped to the downside dramatically. Right off the bat, that is a walk away win. Can this work out from here? Yeah. Can this break out to the upside from here now? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But, do we want to be a part of it? I don't. I'm copy trading. I'm going to be copy trading, across four combines. I got to take premium setups. I've got to take premium setups. And when it's there, you have to take it. You got to take it, right? I don't know what's going to happen in this trade. You've got to say that to yourself every day. Oh, I really don't know what's going to happen. And the reason why you have to do that is because your brain will trick you into saying, oh, risk more, risk more. Oh, wait, we have a $500 limit on our risk. Risk 1,000 this time. It looks good. Outcome bias. That's outcome bias, right? So you have to say, I really don't know what's going to happen. This is following my strategy. This is definitely following my strategy. This is what I'm prepared for, but I still don't know what's going to happen. That keeps you straight. That keeps your brain straight with the risk. Because if you say, oh, this is definitely it's gonna blow up, man. Look, all my components are met. This thing, I'm gonna make 10 grand today. Risk, over leverage yourself. Throw 10 contracts in there, because you're so sure of the outcome. That's outcome bias, right? Keep your mind unbiased. All my components are met. Bullish candle. Breakout looks good. Hey, you can I know on Topstep you can max out on 5 contracts. That's going to give you a huge win. Those are the days those are the days to give yourself a little latitude, and maybe take a 1.5, 2 to 1, take off 4 contracts, let the last one run, but never over leverage yourself because you really don't know what the outcome's going to be. That's the moral of the story here. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. I've got because I'm copy trading across the right now three contracts there. If you go over to this gearbox, see how I have 500 global risk settings, 500, and then my max profit for the combine is 1,500. When you have all components met and you've got your 5 full contracts, 1,500, that 1,500 target becomes very close. Remember how we hit $1,000 in 2 seconds with that news event? I think that was episode number 23. I labeled it $1,000 in 2 seconds. It's on YouTube. With 5 full contracts, this target becomes much closer. And the $500 risk is also much closer too. So you have to kind of use your technical skills and say, okay, well, maybe I'll just do 2 contracts and, scale out one at a time, depending on the readings, right? But this is really good to do for Topstep. Set your global risk settings, right? See what we got here. Yep. See, this is what happens when you've got momentum and trend on your side and you pull back into some sort of demand zone. What does that look like on the 15-minute? Wow, 15-minute chart. It's like, so it actually pulled back into this consolidation here. Throw out your boxes. You can draw that whole thing. Pulled back into there. It's understandable, right? There's a stronger move out from this area, right? A stronger move out. So it pulled back into this demand zone with a ton of higher time frame momentum. That is the takeaway I want you guys to see here. Pullbacks into demand zones with a ton of momentum in an upward trend. That's the demand zone to take the chance on, right? That's another strategy though. The strategy that we look at in the morning is the opening range. Momentum, 3 hour. CCI, right? CCI 3 hour chart, very strong, above positive 100. CCI 1 hour chart, hanging out right around positive 100. CCI, 1 hour trend cloud, right? 50 simple moving average here. Price is above it. We're in an uptrend. Boom. Wait for that breakout. So this bear trap is working. So far, the bear trap is working so far. This would definitely be a target. I would put my target right here if I got into this demand zone, right? Put my target right there. But that's not what made us all that money, right? We made all that we got into the top 7% and from following this. Oh, excuse me. Following this strategy here, the breakout strategy, not the bear trap. A couple of bear traps that we took in competition, we gave some profit back, right? We don't like giving back profit. So we said, all right, we're just trading premium setups. So this is a big win, guys. This is a walk away win. We preserved our capital. We're not guessing at demand zones. We're just going to use the strategy that we built and that we know works. And we're going to maintain our 70 to 76% accuracy level in the Topstep Express account and combines. I'm happy with that. I think you guys are happy with that as well. So I don't know. I think that's it, guys, right? Let's run through, I know a lot of you guys take off around 10 or so. But what happened with the ES here? This struggling food, shut up. We don't want to hear about it. Get out of here. Let's take a look at the ES across the board. Same thing, right? Okay, so ES, actually, this pullback here broke us below the zero line. We don't like that, right? We don't like that. We want it to stay above the zero line. NASDAQ, very deep pullback, that pullback kept us above the zero line. We love that. Here it comes, wants to hang out there again. That's fine. The YM, right? The Dow here, pulling back into TrendCloud, right? Heading for that 786 retracement level. That's interesting. Look where we are on CCI. And look how we're breaking below the 50 simple moving average on the 1 hour chart. Now, we don't like that. We don't like taking demand zones that are below the 50 simple on the 1 hour chart, our trending time frame. And we certainly don't like taking demand zones when CCI is below negative 200. Holy cow. Absolutely not. No. Russell ripping through a couple of demand zones that we drew out here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Russell has smashed below negative 100 on CCI. Still maintaining the uptrend, but pulling back. Maybe it's going to use the 50 simple as support. Let's get some Fibonacci on the 3 hour chart. Where are we at? Pulling back into that 50% on 3 hour chart. So we're hitting that 50% level on the Russell, but momentum very strong to the downside. We don't like that. We like pullbacks to take place above the zero line and above the 50, right? Those are great rules to follow. Made us a lot of money, guys. It made us a lot of money. It keeps us within 70 to 76% accuracy. I'm just going to keep doing that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Remember, don't succumb to outcome bias. We don't know what's going to happen, even when we've got the perfect setup, right? Got to say that to yourself. And do not pattern drift. Do not drift between patterns. If you take a loss or something like this, oh, the setup isn't there. Instead of walking away, I'm going to go find another pattern or another thing to trade. No, let me do another strategy because this strategy, you don't have it today. You don't do that. Do not pattern drift. No outcome bias. We don't know what's going to happen. And no pattern drifting. All right. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. This is a walk away win. Very good. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, everybody.